Hello everyone, welcome back and thank you for watching. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can make easy home decor DIYs. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you do, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to turn on the notification bell button so you can get notified every time I upload. With that being said, now let's craft. Alright you guys, so from Dollar Tree, I will be using one of these decor signs. And from Hobby Lobby, I'm going to use this beautiful scrapbook paper. I'm going to start by removing the back of the little sign, and then I'm going to trace it on the scrapbook paper. Once I am done, I'm going to just cut it out. Then I'm going to glue it to the back piece. And I will be using my Elmer's glue stick. You can use Mod Podge if you like. Now this DIY is very easy and simple to do. The next thing I will be doing is just putting the back on the frame. And look how beautiful this looks. Now you can already leave it like that. I just decided to remove the hanger and then add this home sign that I already had. Dollar Tree does carry wood cutouts that you can use instead. To finish it off, I added a bow in the center. Now I made the bow using the Dollar Tree buffalo check ribbon and some Hobby Lobby burlap ribbon that I had. And that is it, guys. Look how beautiful this turned out. For my next DIY, I will be using another Dollar Tree sign. And look guys how badly they made this. You can see the staple poking through there. So I am going to just remove the back. Once I have removed the back, I am going to use my X-Acto knife to remove the sarcasm. Now, I was going to paint this, but then I decided to use some of my scrapbook paper that I have from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to do the same thing, trace it out, then I'm going to glue it to the back sign. Now, because I did remove the sarcasm, it was kind of rough, so I did have to use some Senshi to send it out. Once it's nice and smooth, I'm going to use my Elmer's glue stick and just glue it. To decorate my sign, I will be using stuff that I got last year. Now, I don't have any new pumpkins or anything from this year because my Dollar Tree still don't have any of that. So I decided to just use what I had last year, but hopefully they carry some of these things this year. The little pumpkin, I did get it from the Dollar Tree in a pack, a little DIY pack. And then the bigger pumpkin, I got it from Target. It was from the dollar spot. And the little buffalo plaid one, all I did was just trace one of the pumpkins and then use a brown paper for the stem. This DIY was inspired by the scrapbook paper that I got from Hobby Lobby, so I did wanted to make one of the pumpkins a blue color, so I'm using the apple barrel acrylic paint in the color Laguna. I think it's Laguna or Laguna Beach, something like that, but it's this beautiful blue. And then I did paint the stems using some brown. Now before I glue the pumpkins to the sign, I'm going to put the back piece on the frame. And I did have to remove these little nails before I put it. And I'm using some hot glue to glue it. Once I am done, I'm going to just flip it around and put Happy Fall using these Walmart stickers. Now Dollar Tree carries some that you can use instead. Once I am done putting Happy Fall, I will be adding the pumpkins. And this is how it looks. Now I am going to add some flowers just so it can match the scrapbook paper and some leaves. These small little sunflowers, I got them last year as well from the Dollar Tree. And that is it for this Happy Fall sign. I think it turned out so cute. My next DIY is going to be so easy and simple to do. Now from Dollar Tree, I'm going to use one of these little wood arrows, I think, but it looks like a house to me. So I'm going to use some scrapbook paper that I got from Michael's. Look how beautiful this is. It goes so well with the other scrapbook paper. Now I'm going to just trace a little house, cut it out, and glue it using my Elmer's glue stick. To decorate this, I'm using some little wood cutouts that I got from Target. Like I said, these are from last year. I'm going to glue a pumpkin in the center and then this beautiful thankful sign right underneath it. To finish it off, I will be adding this bow that I made out of the Dollar Tree yin yang ribbon. And that is it for this beautiful thankful little house. I think it turned out so cute. This next DIY is so easy and simple to do. I'm using a Dollar Tree bucket. Now this is from last year. I just wanted to show you how you can make an easy floral arrangement. Now I am going to remove the little handle part off. I thought it was going to be easy, but it was kind of hard until I did have to cut it using my wire cutters. Now Dollar Tree is going to carry some buckets that are so beautiful. I already seen some, but I still haven't found any. And guess what? They have the buffalo plaid on them. So I got the inspiration to turn this into that. Plus, it's going to match the rest of my DIYs. To decorate the bucket, I will be using this buffalo check ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree. Now, I felt like this was too thick to use around the top part, and it was going to cover some of the words, so I decided to glue this in half. I then glue this around the top part. I made a bow out of the same ribbon and added to one of the pumpkins. For the greenery, I will be using these ear lamps that I got from Walmart and this bouquet that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut all the stems off and just place them here and there. The next bouquet I will be adding, not bouquet, the next greenery, or it's actually not greenery, floral, I will be adding are the flocking balls that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut them and once again just place them here and there. And that is it, guys. I think this turned out so beautiful. For my next DIY, I will be using another Dollar Tree sign. Now, once again, I got this from last year, but Dollar Tree always carries some of these signs that have different pictures on the front. But this is so easy. All I did was just send down all the glitter from the top part and then paint it white. Once that was dry, I then used some of the same scrapbook paper that I got from Hobby Lobby to cut a piece off and glue it to the front of the sign. The next thing I will be doing is adding some of this beautiful ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby. Now it's $3.99, but when it's on sale, you can get it for half off. I'm going to glue a piece to the bottom part. To decorate my sign, I will be using this wood leaf cutout. Now I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue to the hole to close it. Then I'm going to use 3 different colors to paint my leaf. I did use a mustard, an orange, and a light yellow. I used all of these 3 colors to paint the leaf. Now once it was dry, I did glue it to the center of my sign. Then I glued this little grateful wood sign that I already had, and I added to the center of the ribbon. Now I thought you weren't going to be able to see the hole on the leaf, but you can still clearly see it, so I decided to add a bow I made out of the Dollar Tree ribbon. I thought I was finished, but then I decided to add this small little leaf that I remember I had. So I wanted this to match the rest of my DIY, so I decided to paint this greenish bluish. And that is it, guys. That is the last thing I added to my sign. So that is it for this beautiful grateful decor sign that I think it turned out beautiful. For my next DIY, I will be using this Dollar Tree picture frame. Now I am going to remove the plastic in the back. This has a glass. I will not be using that. I am only using the back piece of this frame. I'm going to use the beautiful Hobby Lobby scrapbook paper that I recently got, the one that has the trucks, and cut a piece off, then glue it to the back piece of the frame. I'm using my Elmer's glue stick to glue this. Now, once I am done doing that, I am going to place the back piece back on the frame. And it already looks beautiful, just like this. But I decided to put this bless sign that I got from one of these signs that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm just showing you the laundry one because it came from one of those. Now I'm going to just glue this in the center. And that is it, guys. This was so easy and simple to do. Starting with the Hello Fall, I'm going to use one of these Dollar Tree large signs. Mine is from last year, but Dollar Tree carries so many different ones that you can use instead. I'm going to start by removing the little handle. I did use my little staple removing tool that I got from Amazon. I absolutely love this thing. And then I'm going to just paint the back using some white chalk paint. For the word hello, I'm using these Dollar General sticker, which I absolutely love. I just love the font. They did cost me $2, but Dollar Tree carries some that you can use instead. I did place the stickers on the plastic first, so like that I know where I wanted them to go, and then I put them on my sign. This made it so much easier and I didn't have to keep moving them around. For the word fall, I'm using these wood letters that I got from Walmart, and I'm going to paint them black. I decided not to use the letter A, so I'm going to use one of the Dollar Tree wood cutouts. Now these right here are from last year. Hopefully they carry some this year. And I wanted this to be a buffalo plaid or buffalo check, whatever you want to call it. So I am using this leftover scrapbook paper that I had from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to just trace the leaf and cut it out. And honestly, you don't even have to waste the wood. Now you can use the leaf just like that, but I decided to glue it instead. And I am using my Elmer's glue stick. Now that my letters are dry and I have my leaf, I'm going to just glue them to the sign. The last thing I will be adding is a bow to the leaf and some jute twine around the top part with some beads. Now you can add some greenery or you can add some color to this, but I decided to just leave it like this, plain and simple, but yet looks so high-end. So that is it for this Hello Fall sign that I absolutely love how it turned out. For my next DIY, I will be making a pumpkin out of these two Dollar Tree signs that I got during spring. Now you're wondering why I am making my own pumpkin. That is because my Dollar Trees aren't carrying any pumpkins yet or anything that has to do with fall. So I decided to make my own, and I started by removing the little metal signs, which I know I can use later on, and then I glued both of these together using hot glue. For the stem, I decided to use a leftover popsicle stick handle, and I did have to cut it a little bit slanted so like that it can be slanted on top of my pumpkin. I will not be gluing this yet. For this pumpkin, I will be recreating one that I have that I bought a couple of years ago from Dollar General. It has like a plaid center and the two sides were orange. Now because I wanted this to be more neutral, I decided to paint the sides using some white chalk paint, and I did have to go over it twice because of the pictures. Now for the center, I decided to use this beautiful scrapbook paper that I recently got from Hobby Lobby. They are 59 cents and I did pay that, but Hobby Lobby sometimes put them for $1. I am going to place it on top and then just press it down so it can crease, and then I am going to cut it. I then use my Elmer's glue stick to glue these. You can't use Mod Podge if you like. Now, I regret doing this. I wish I had done the sides using the scrapbook paper and the center white, but it still turned out beautiful. Now, I am going to just glue the little handle part, or the little stem, I'm sorry. And I should have painted it brown first before I added it to the pumpkin, but I did it the other way around. Now to decorate this, I am going to use one of these beautiful Dollar Tree picks that I recently got. I'm only using the leaves and I'm going to glue it at the top. Then I'm going to make a bow using some burlap ribbon, which I got from Hobby Lobby as well, but Dollar Tree carries some that you can use instead. To finish this off, I'm going to add this welcome metal sign that I got from Dollar Tree. And that is it, guys. Now the best part about this pumpkin is that you can use it two ways. You can just use it standing up like a tabletop decor, or you can add a little hook on the back and hang it to your wall. For my next DIY, I'm going to use a foam pumpkin that I got last year. I am going to reuse this, but I'm pretty sure Dollar Tree is gonna carry these this year. So the only thing I did was remove the stem and paint this using some white chalk paint. I'm going to add the word harvest, and I'm using these beautiful buffalo check stickers that I got from Hobby Lobby. Original price was $3.99, but they were on clearance for 99 cents. The next thing I will be doing is an arrangement. Now I did use different florals. I started with some boxwood greenery that I got from Walmart, and then I went to the Dollar Tree ones, the beautiful ones that they're carrying this year. I did add that, and then I went back to some that I got from Walmart. But I did add several different ones, which I absolutely love how this turned out. And that is it for this beautiful fall arrangement. For my next DIY, I'm going to be reusing this. I recently did this, so I'm going to just show you real quick and speed it up. I still wanted to show you guys because maybe some of you haven't watched that video, and I made this using Dollar Tree items. Now I'm going to gently remove the word love and add the word pumpkin using the Dollar Tree stickers. I honestly have a love and hate relationship with these stickers because they are so hard to work with. So you have to be very patient with these. Once I had the word pumpkins, and I then added a little pumpkin that I got from this pack, which once again, I know it's from last year, but I did save a lot of the things I didn't use from last year, and I really hope Target brings these back because they are so cute. Now, like I said, I'm going to add a pumpkin, and then underneath that I'm going to put 50 cents each using the same Dollar Tree stickers. And that is basically it. The last thing I added was just some pumpkins inside this little crate. And look how cute this turned out. To start with a Hello Pumpkin sign from Dollar Tree, I'm going to use one of these wooden trucks, and from Amazon I will be using this wooden circle. I'll have the link down in the description box in case you want to purchase these circles. They are such a great buy. You get like 12 for like, I forgot, like $15. I forgot, but I'll have that information down in the description box. I'm going to start by just painting the circle using some white chalk paint. Then I'm going to paint the truck using the Waverly chalk paint in the color Moss. I am painting the base of the truck with this color. Then I'm going to paint the rims using the Waverly chalk paint in the color Steel. And then the tires are going to be black. And the back of the truck, I'm going to paint it using the same color Steel. And I'm going to paint one of the pumpkins using the Waverly chalk paint in the color Mineral, and the other one orange. Using a tiny brush and white paint, I'm going to add some details to the truck just so it doesn't look too flat. And you can leave the truck like this, but I decided to add some buffalo check scrapbook paper to it. I got the inspiration from one of the ones I got from Hobby Lobby. It's like the blue teal truck with like the door with the buffalo check. So that's what I decided to do. I am going to trace it. Sorry, you can't really see it here, but I did trace it, then I cut it out. I then glue it using my Elmer's glue stick. Now you can use Mod Podge if you like. And look how cute this truck looks. Now I'm going to just place it on the center of my circle, so like that I know where I'm going to put Hello Pumpkin. And I'm using these Dollar Tree transfer stickers, and I also use my Cricut to print out the Hello little transfer sticker, but I actually printed this out way back in March, I think, and I had this little extra one, that's why I'm using it. But I regret not printing a new one out because I could have done like a bigger Hello Pumpkin sign, but I was too lazy. So I just used what I had already. So I put Hello a little bit slanted, and then underneath I put Pumpkin. Now I'm going to just glue the truck, and I'm using some hot glue to glue this. Honestly, the truck already looks beautiful as it is now, but I did have these little sunflowers that I recently got from the Dollar Tree, so I decided to add some to this. This is where I regretted not printing out bigger images to transfer to my sign. But then I decided to just add some little leaf tails to it. So I am using a round circle, and then I'm going to draw like little leaves. And I did this on the top part and then on the other side. And I think this made it look so much better. And that is it for this Hello Pumpkin Truck decor sign. I think it turned out so cute. My next DIY is going to be very easy and simple to do. Now from Dollar Tree, I will be using one of these decor signs. I did remove the back. And then I'm going to paint the frame using the Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant. I did start by painting this more a little bit distressed. I wanted it to look more distressed and old and rustic. At the end, I did end up just painting the entire thing. I didn't like how it looked. So this is how it's going to look for now. Now the next thing I will be using is this thankful little light sign that I got from the Dollar Tree. I am going to remove the thankful part from the top part. It is very easy to remove. Just be careful, like you'll see I didn't even notice that I had broken the F until like I was reading. I was like, it doesn't sound right because the F wasn't finished. So I did have to go back and look for it, which was on the floor. But anyways, I am going to paint this using this orange. And I'm going to use this piece of scrapbook paper that I got from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to glue it to the back sign, and then I'm going to glue the thankful right on top of it. This is where I realized that the F wasn't there. So then I went back and looked for it, and I did paint the little piece that was missing, and then I glued it back on there. Once I was finished, I put the back piece back on the frame, and this is where I realized I didn't like the little distressing look. So I did decide to paint the entire frame just using the chalk paint. And that is it for this thankful sign. I think it turned out so beautiful. My next DIY is going to be another easy one. Now from Michael's, I did pick up one of these wooden squares, which I absolutely love. These are so perfect to DIY with, and they are only 99 cents. So if you can't find any wood stuff at Dollar Tree, Michael's does carry things for $1 and under, and this is one of them. I am also using one of the little wooden dowels. This comes from a Dollar Tree little sponge paintbrush. And I am going to cut it. As you can see, I'm using my knife. I am crafting a knife, so I didn't want to go to my garage and cut this with my saw. Now I'm going to paint the wooden square using the Waverly chalk paint in the color Steel. And the dowel with some brown acrylic paint. Using my Cricut Maker, I did print this wreath out. Now Dollar Tree carries so many different stickers that you can use instead. I am going to just weave it out and then transfer it to my wood sign. The next thing I will be using is this little grateful wooden sign that I got from Target last year for $1. It was like a little pack and it had a whole bunch of these little ones. And I'm going to make a bow using this buffalo check ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree. this little wood sign had adhesive already, so all I did was remove the back paper and then place it on the center. Now I'm going to glue the stem, and I'm going to add some leaves that I got from one of the fall florals that I had, and then I'm going to add the bow. And this completes this little pumpkin that I think it turned out beautiful. For my next DIY, I'm going to use one of these Dollar Tree decorative boxes and this Dollar Tree wood crate. I'm going to start by painting, actually no, I'm going to start by removing the little tag thing that the box had, and then I'm going to paint the box using the Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant. So for the crate, I did start by painting it with the Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant first, and then I went with the moss, and this is how it looked. Now once it's dry, I am going to glue it to the back of the box. So that is it for this little crate box. Now I am going to decorate it using this Dollar Tree straw bell little thing. And I'm going to add one of them. Just be very careful. These things are very messy. Now I'm going to just decorate it using some random pumpkins I already had. Some of them are from Dollar Tree. Some are from like a little Walmart little bag that I got. And I think Hobby Lobby. I am also adding some Dollar Tree greenery. And I'm going to add this little picture that I cut off from a Hobby Lobby scrapbook paper, and then I'm going to glue it to the front. The last thing I will be adding is just this little welcome sign that I got from Hobby Lobby in a pack, and a bow. And that is it, guys. That is it for this DIY. I think it turned out beautiful. Alright, now from Hobby Lobby, I got one of these signs, which was $17.99, but I got it for $4.49 because it was on clearance. I'm going to start by removing the sawtooth hooks from the back. The next thing I will be doing is sanding the sign down, just because the colors are pretty bright and I don't want to paint this so many different times to cover this. So by me doing this, I only had to paint it 2 times, and I will be using my Waverly chalk paint in the color white. The next item I will be using is this family sign that I got from Dollar Tree recently. I'm going to use the Waverly Antique Wax to paint this. I'm going to use whatever's left on the paintbrush to distress the frame. Now to decorate this, I will be using these beautiful pumpkin floral picks that I recently got from Walmart. These were 97 cents each. I will be tying mine like really close together. You can't leave a space in between them, and like that you can add a bow. Now it's time to put the sign together. I'm going to start by gluing the family sign, and then I'm going to glue the pumpkins right underneath. I decided to glue mine, but you can make a hole on the sign and just tie them. So like that you can use this sign all year round just by switching the floral bits. I then decided to add a small little pumpkin I had. And that is it for this beautiful fall sign. For my next DIY, I'm going to use this palette sign. I got this from Dollar General, but Walmart or Michael's carry these and they are under $3. What I love about this palette that it's already stained. Now I'm going to use this thankful metal sign that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm not sure if Dollar Tree is going to carry them this year. This is from last year, but if they don't, you can always use the Dollar Tree stickers, or you can even use your Cricut. Instead of painting this metal sign and gluing it to the palette, I decided to trace it and then go over it using some white chalk paint. To decorate my sign, I'm going to use some pumpkins that I got from Dollar Tree. These are the ones that have the little clip. I removed the clip and then I cut these in half. I'm using a white one and an orange. I am also using these leaves. I got this little pack from Dollar Tree, which I absolutely love because it has different kinds of leaves. It has the regular ones, and then it has some burlap leaves. So I will be using some orange and then some green. I'm going to just glue them all on top of the thankful sign. Two of them going one way, the other two going the other way, and in the center, I'm going to glue one of them like standing up. Once I am done doing that, I am gluing the pumpkins right on top. And I'm only gluing 3 pumpkins, 2 white ones and an orange. And that is it for this beautiful thankful sign, which was so easy to make. For my next DIY, I will be using 4 of these picture frames. These are from Dollar Tree. I thought I was going to need a piece of this sign, but I ended up not needing that, so you only need 4 frames for these. I'm going to start by removing the back piece from all the picture frames, and I'm going to remove the little metal thing that holds the back pieces. Once I had removed all the backs, I then started to glue these together. I am making a lantern. I know you guys are probably tired of seeing lanterns, but I wanted to make one. So I am going to start by just gluing all of these together. I am using hot glue. So instead of using the other piece of the other sign that I thought I was going to need, I decided to use one of the back pieces. I know this isn't going to cover the whole bottom piece, but it is going to be enough so I can put a pumpkin or a candle if I want to. So that is what I'm going to use for the bottom. Now once I had the bottom, I then painted this using the Waverly Antique Wax. Now to decorate your candle holder, you can add a candle, but I decided to add a pumpkin instead. And I'm using one of these pumpkins. I got this on a pack that I got from Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to use some of the leaves that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to just glue some leaves underneath. Now this pumpkin is not that big, which I wish I had a bigger one, but I still like how it looks, so I'm using this one. I am going to just glue the leaves all underneath, so when I add this to my lantern, there is going to be some greenery or leaves around it. Now I'm going to add a bow to finish it off. You can glue the pumpkin inside the lantern, but I decided not to, so like that I can use this all year round just by switching the inside. And that is it for this lantern. I think it turned out so cute and it was so easy to make. Alright, I'm going to start with a pumpkin patch. So from Walmart, I picked up one of these wood planks that cost me $3.50. And for the pumpkins, I will be using these that I got from the Dollar Tree. I will also be using some wood letters. These are also from Dollar Tree. So these pumpkins are from last year, but I think Dollar Tree is carrying similar ones to these this year. Now I'm going to start by painting 3 of them. The first one, I'm going to paint it using a vanilla color. I am going to add some details to the pumpkin using some brown. And then the second one, I'm going to use the Waverly chalk paint in the color moss, and I'm going to add the details using the vanilla paint. And the third one, I will be painting it orange with brown details, and look how beautiful these pumpkins turned out. Now for the stem, I decided to use my brown marker, so that's what I'm using. Once I have my pumpkins ready, I'm going to add them to the sign. Now, like I said, this sign is from Walmart, which I absolutely love. It cost me only $3.50. It's a big size and it's also painted already, so it's ready to DIY. I'm going to glue the pumpkins using hot glue. And to finish the pumpkins off, I'm going to be adding some bows. The middle one, I'm going to make a bow using this Dollar Tree ribbon. And then for the other two pumpkins, I'm going to just make some regular jute twine bows. Moving on, I'm going to paint all the wood letters using some black paint. Once they're dry, I'm going to arrange them to my sign before I start gluing them. And to glue these, I will be using the wood glue. No, sorry, not wood glue. Regular hot glue. And that is it for this pumpkin patch wood sign, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite ones, so I hope you guys liked it. For my next DIY, I will be reusing a crate I did before, but I do want to show you the materials I use. I got these signs from the Dollar Tree and I removed the back of two of them and then glued them all together to make a crate. The next thing I did was just paint it using some white paint. The next thing I will be doing is just gluing some of this burlap ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to glue it all around it. And then once I am done gluing that, I'm going to glue the buffalo check ribbon right on top of that. I also made a bow using the same ribbon and added to the center. Now I'm going to decorate my crate using this, I don't know what this thing is called, but I got this from the Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to add some pumpkins right on top. And that is it for this beautiful centerpiece. I think it turned out beautiful. My next DIY is very easy and simple to do. Now from Dollar Tree, I got one of these decor signs, which is really nice. I love the background of it. And then I'm going to just paint forever with every breath. I'm leaving the word bless with a little design. I am using some white chalk paint. I did have to give this 2 coats of the white chalk paint because of the letters. Now I'm going to use this garland that I got from the Dollar Tree to make a wreath. I'm going to make it to the size of the circle of the sign. Once I had my wreath, I then glue it to the sign using hot glue. Now to make this more into a fall sign, I am going to add some of these orange leaves to my wreath. I'm going to leave a space in between them because I am going to add a bow. I'm going to make the bow using the Dollar Tree burlap ribbon. I decided to add the word gather to it, so I did use my Cricut Maker to make this. And that is it, guys. That is it for this sign. I think it turned out beautiful. For my next DIY, I'm going to use one of the Dollar Tree foam pumpkins. Now I did remove the stem and I made a hole in the center. The next thing I will be doing is painting it white using some white chalk paint, but I'm only painting half of it. I then went over it using the Waverly chalk paint in the color Moss. Using the same paintbrush, I'm going to add a little bit of white to just highlight the details of the pumpkin to make it more realistic. The next thing I will be doing is just cutting the pumpkin in half. It's very easy to cut through. Now I'm going to glue this to a sign. The sign I will be using is from Walmart. This right here is almost like the one I use in my other DIY, but this one is rectangle, which cost me $5.97. So then the next thing I will be doing is just gluing the pumpkin to the bottom. So as you can see, I'm going to use the pumpkin as a vase. Now to decorate this, I will be using some Walmart greenery and some Dollar Tree fall picks. The next thing I will be adding is a bow to the pumpkin. Now to finish this off, I am going to add something to my sign. And I'm going to add this thankful sign that I got from one of the little decor signs that I use for my centerpiece. And that is it for this decor sign. I think it turned out beautiful. It's actually my second favorite one. Alright you guys, so I'm going to start with the tier tray. Now from Michael's, I did pick up two of these ovals. The bigger one cost me $3.99 and the smaller one cost me $2.49. For the centerpiece, I will be using a candle holder stick, which I also got from Hobby Lobby, and it cost me $2.49. I'm going to start by removing the metal. This was very easy to remove. Now once I had removed that, I did glue this in the center. And I also glue this upside down. I did wanted my bottom tray to have more room. To glue this, I will be using some wood glue. Now I'm going to just glue the top piece. And I'm going to add something heavy at the top and leave it drying overnight. And this is how it looks. Now I'm going to paint this using my Waverly chalk paint in the color Mineral. And that is it for this tray. I think it turned out beautiful, and the best part, it cost me under $10 and it is a wood and sturdy tray. For my next DIY, I will be making a planter, which is gonna go perfect on my tier tray. Now from Michael's, I did pick up one of these wood boxes that cost me $1. They were on clearance. Now Dollar Tree carries similar ones that you can use instead. And I'm going to use this beautiful scrapbook paper that I got from Hobby Lobby. Now I decided not to paint my planters, so I am going to use this paper. I'm going to just cut it to size and then glue it using my Elmer's glue stick. Now you can use Mod Podge so it can last longer. Now as you can see, this paper is small, so I did have to cut 2 different pieces to glue this. But once everything was nice and glued, you couldn't even see where I added the other paper. And this is how it looks. Now to decorate this, I will be using some Walmart lamb ears, and from Dollar Tree I'm going to use some different fall florals. I placed the stems just here and there, and that is it for this planter. I think it turned out so beautiful, and I'm loving these colors for fall. My next DIY is going to be another easy one. Now from Dollar Tree, I'm going to use these small canvas. 3 come in a pack. I'm only using 1. And I'm going to use the buffalo check ribbon or gingham, whatever you want to call this, and just glue this on the sides using hot glue. And look how beautiful this plain canvas looks. Now you can add whatever you like to this. I decided to put the word fall, and I'm using some Dollar General stickers. These are some beautiful stickers. I love the font. Now Dollar Tree carries stickers that you can use instead. I did start by adding the stickers in the center, but then later on I did decide to move them more down. Now to decorate my sign, I'm using some pumpkins that I got from Dollar Tree last year. I haven't seen anything yet in my Dollar Tree, which actually I'm going to go tomorrow and see if they have some fall items now. Now I decided to paint one of them green and the other one with the same mineral color. I also added some details to the pumpkin to look more realistic. Now once they were dry, I did glue them to the top part of my sign. And that is it for this fall sign, which I think it turned out so cute and it looks so adorable on the tier tray. For my next DIY, I'm going to use this small little tag. Now I got this from Walmart. I'm not sure, it cost me 59 or 79 cents, but I know it was under $1. I'm going to start by painting the center using some white acrylic paint, and then to paint the little border, I'm going to use this darker gray, which is the color Steel from the brand Waverly Chalk Paint. I am also using some Dollar Tree wood letters, and I'm going to paint the letter M using the Waverly Chalk Paint in the color Moss. Once it's dry, I'm going to glue it to the center of my tag. Now to decorate this some more, I'm going to use the buffalo check ribbon and make a nice little bow and add it where the hole is at, just to cover that up. The last thing I did was just add some beads to make a garland, and that is it for this beautiful garland. I think it turned out beautiful. My next DIY is going to be very easy and simple. Now I got one of these scrapbook papers from Hobby Lobby, which is beautiful. It is the most beautiful fall scrapbook paper that I've seen, and I'm going to use a Dollar Tree frame. I did take out the back. Now I'm going to just trace the frame on the paper and cut it out. Once I am done doing that, I'm going to glue the paper to the back. I'm using my Elmer's glue stick to glue the back, and the last thing I did was just put the back on the frame, and that is it for this DIY. I think it turned out beautiful. It was very easy and simple to do. My next DIY is very easy and simple to do. It's not really a DIY. All I'm doing is repainting this Topiary Pumpkin that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to start by painting the bottom pumpkin using some white chalk paint. I am going over the letters or words because they are engraved, so I am going to be able to go back and repaint them. The top pumpkin, I will be painting it using the Waverly Chalk Paint in the color Mineral. And the middle pumpkin, I will be painting it using the Waverly Chalk Paint in the color Moss. I did let this dry before I went over the words, and I'm using a black permanent marker to go over them. That is going to be a lot easier. And that is it, guys. That is it for this pumpkin transformation. I think it turned out beautiful. And that is it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comment section which one was your favorite, because I would love to know. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, bye.